Hello, amigo. Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram. And this is episode 810.3 We Nerd World. Mr. Smiley's Gardens popping in here already. Hell yeah to that. Cheers to everybody. Hopefully, you guys have kicked your weekend off good. Marcus Greenthumb, cheers to you. Cheers, cheers, cheers. I think I got everything. Chat in place. Check, check, check. Some cannabis around here. Check.
Check, microphone check.
What's up, Mr. Smiley?
You know,
How are you doing this fine Monday?
It's beautiful out. Trying to get a bunch of shit done. And,
Yeah. Was a beautiful day.
I get to balance my time now between outdoor veggie garden and all the plantings and shit that have to happen out there. Because now the weather broke and doing a rotation in the basement and all the shit that has to happen with that. I've been kind of slowing on the rotation and paying more attention to the outside right now. Because that'll settle down in a minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Once everything gets watered in, you get that routine. It's kind of like the 2-a-days or 2 a week lawn mowings there. You know what I mean? Beginning of the seasons, that shit's growing like wildfire. Gonna fucking mow twice a week. Midsummer, it goes slows down to that like once a week fucking mow and shit. That ain't so bad.
Yeah, I hear you.
Cheers, everybody in chat.
We'll get though, get everything planted out there, and got taters coming up and shit's going on. So I like it. Our strawberries blew the fuck up. We're gonna have so many strawberries. Just the amount of flower sets that are there, it's insane.
Yeah, I was at Walmart today, or like on the outskirts, walking my dog there. It's a nice little stretch to give them a fucking walk when they're with me. And there was like a huge patch in the lawn. I'm like, are these fucking, yeah, these are. These are fucking strawberry flowers. And I got looking around, there's like fucking a 20 by 15 patch just right there in the lawn. I'm like, I wonder if like some strawberries like got chucked out or something. You know what I mean? Just burst right here. But
We
be
do
a
have some
fucking
problems.
awesome little strawberry patch if they just let it be. Quit mowing that shit.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's cool to find that shit. But I do believe we got some like native berry, strawberries. They're probably not like the, market size and big red juicy ones. They're probably the real little ones, but
I think they're good though, the little ones.
yeah, they're sweet. The dark red. I gotta grab some leaves there. Back to the jar tech. I said that last time, but it's a little different, man. It's different than.
It's got to be better to get back to business as usual a little bit. That like, I thought burping was a bitch, but it's welcome right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't mind smelling them. It's not. It's not a bitch. I just gotta remember it. You know what I mean? Take the 10 minutes it takes to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I figure I'm like, I don't know, I've already kind of burped them for a week. So now I'm just kind of opening them in rotation as I roll joints and shit. So it's like,
So you were just opening them anyway, right? No?
yeah, now they're getting like at least every other day, and then I'm checking on them. But I got multiple jars too, so I gotta keep a lookout on. You know what I mean? Like I got 2 jars of the ice cream cake and shit like that. So I gotta, you know, when's the next event, man? We were just talking to Jessica about that. Now I'm all excited. I got my weed to share. Like, when are we at? When we meet, man? You gotta try this shit. Check this out.
Yeah, the next one is supposed to be down there at I thought Big Clouds or Heady in the Clouds thing, the 26th.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Leave.
That's the graduation party.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go that weekend. We got graduation party and family coming in from out of state and all this shit. So
That's a pretty fucking good reason.
yeah, gotta do it.
You did, man.
Oh, I just realized I was toothless. Put that in there real quick.
Let's do it.
I had like a bunch of. I'm smoking. I'm definitely smoking a mix. I had. This is kind of funny. I had like I don't know, 4 or 5 bags floating around in my little area here. You know, I had about a quarter or some shit in them. And last night I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna mix them all up. I did too. It's like fuck it, man. They're all here, half open, all fucking. I wasn't even closing them up. I was just smoking and tossing them aside, tossing them aside. Like I need to clean up some desk space here. Fucking just mix all these bitches together. That's what I did. Now I got like a fucking 5-strain mix in this bag. It's been pretty tasty so far. Kind of like a Turkish blend type thing.
Turkish blend. I like it. It's not bad though, man. Sometimes that's the ones that really fucking give you a wallop too. Everything, you know what I mean? A little bit of everything mixed in there, and it's all of a sudden it's some new kind of hit that it gives you.
Been smoking it all day. It's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, we just
Not to mention, it makes you feel like bag rich again. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, now I got a sag. Before I had 5, little bags. Now I got one big one.
Right? No, I was there, man. I was there. I had a good month to go and nothing to smoke. So, except now I keep digging deeper because I was looking for jars and shit for the new harvest, and like, now I'm still finding stuff. So I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't even realize I had this. Like, I thought they were empty jars just chilling in the corner, and no, no, not so much. That's where it goes.
Emergency stash was a little deeper than you thought, huh?
I know, dude, but it goes back to them days. Like, I remember the days, man, when you could fucking not hook up. You know what I mean? You're out of weed, you're fucking calling this dude, calling this dude, calling this dude, fucking running across this town to maybe catch this other guy. You know what I mean? Just chasing your ass all over just to fucking find some brick ass weed that you gotta pick all the seeds out of to smoke and shit. I remember the days, dude. I remember the days.
So let me ask you this. It wasn't so long ago. You fuckers were all like laughing at me a little bit for rolling up my roaches. Did you hit that fucking? Were you there yet, or were you still? You use the filters, or you put filters in them, so maybe not. But were you almost there to where you're like, let's post these down? I still roll. I'm not afraid. You're muted.
I can't say, I know I wouldn't get off, I don't know why. I can't say that I've rolled a roach joint in a while. So I have been there. I've scraped bowls. I've done the due diligence on desperate times, man. I don't like the second. I mean, not just the taste, but like even the buzz from like like back in the day, you scrape the bowl and shit, and you get all the fucking resi in there, and you get a nice little chunk on there, and it sizzles on your fucking screen. Turns white, gray. It doesn't change at all. It just turns gray. It stays there. But that shit always gave me a headache. Like, I don't know. Maybe like you get a little buzz off it or whatever, and then you just have a headache and wonder if you got high from the fucking butane or some shit. Like I just inhaled the fucking butane lighter for 30 seconds or whatever, you know.
So I might as well get it out of the way because they're already asking, and I'm not wearing the glasses. I'm feeling a little bit better. I did go to the eye doctor today. I gotta go back. Last week was 3 times. Man, I'm like becoming a regular at this fucking eye doctor and shit. I'm back later this week, but after the weekend, actually, like before I hit the drops today, a few minutes before I went right for the drops, I actually felt like things were lightened up, and I could see a little bit better this morning before I started hitting the drops. And I go into today and see him, and we looked into the eye, and finally, the iris or the pupa, the one of the two, the black part of the eye, it finally released from the lens itself, and which is a good thing. So that all was a plus. He got to take a nice little look in my eye and see what was going on. But he says now that what I'm seeing through that eye, the haze I'm seeing right now, is the best way. He's like, the best way I can explain what's going on is, you ever fucking stick a sticker and rip it off? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, that's what's going on with your eye. Basically, the black part is like was stuck to your lens, and the iris, the color had collapsed down. Everything had collapsed down onto the lens itself and wasn't able to move. He said now it's finally broke free, and that was like last week. It was like super weird because as I started hitting the dilation drops, my eye was dilated in weird patterns because the way it was pulling off from the lens. Like some of it was stuck to, and the other half was like dilated. Yeah, that's when he started. He gave me the drops to take home. He's like, well, maybe if we keep dilating, it will pull itself free. That's what happened. Is now it's pulled itself free, but it's left like a film.
Good either. I don't know.
But it's still improvements. I'm still like happy about this. You know what I mean? Because it is slowly improving. So now there's like fucking shit stuck all over the lens from the fucking other thing being stuck to it, everything being stuck to it. So now he's hoping that, with the back and forth, he'll like almost like chewing. That's like, I'm like, these are like, he's not his words, but this is like almost like chewing gum. Every time it hits that, you know what I mean, dilates and hits the lens. Now he's hoping that it will like clean the lens off a little bit. But when he looks in there, you can still see a bunch of shit floating around in there that's not supposed to be moving around in there. So surgery I might not be out of the clear yet. I mean, surgery is still definitely a possibility, but for right now, it's white. It's not nearly as swollen as it was. A little bit of improvement in vision. We're still kind of hoping that, when time, as like things go on, that it'll slowly start to come back. If not, surgery is still on the table. Unfortunately, like everything we're doing with the steroids and stuff is like increasing the chance of cataract. And then at that point, they will have to go in there and kind of cut the cataract out there. And at that point, I'm like, hopefully they'll laser that bitch and just fucking make it right. No more glasses, no more shit. But fucking right now, I can't. Yeah, so all I can do is ride it out. I'm fucking stoked with the the slight improvement in the vision and knowing that it's at least pop free from the lens, and hopefully things will start looking up now. But that's where I'm at, and I can wear a contact. I can see out of one eye now. So he's like, if you want to. I'm like, dude, I want to see anything right now. Just he's like, it'll be a little weird, but I'm like, if I can do it, I'm gonna fucking do it. So I got one contact in. I can at least see out of one eye now, and hopefully the other eye's improving daily. I didn't ask him about if the color change is permanent, but I'm starting to like the color change. I'm like, it's growing on me a little bit. I like,
Was that the dog breed that always has the husky or whatever?
yeah. So yeah, there's still two different colored eyes, which I don't know. It's growing on me by the day. I'm like, I was actually like, because let's face facts here. I am slightly, a freak. You know, I do have piercings and a whole lot of tattoos, and I was thinking, I'm like, man, people pay good money to have that kind of weird shit.
Yeah, right. True.
So I don't know. I'm being more. At first, I was like super bummed out about it, but now I'm like, ain't so bad. At least still got the one blue eye.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely in a better mood. Very optimistic today. Small strides. Small strides. Now that's off the table. Let's get back to cannabis.
Yeah, cheers, man. This is the 20th. So we just fired up ice cream cake, which I think I lost. I don't think I have the cut no more, fucker.
With the smaller garden, how did you manage? Was it like accidental? Just didn't clone? Forgot to take a cut?
I think I cloned them and then moved them into flower, and the clones didn't take or something. I don't know. I thought I had all of them. I could have swore I double checked them and had all cuts, and you know what I mean. So this round I took backup cuts. So.
I've been there too.
But I don't know, man. I gotta lose some of them anyway. So there's a few of them I'm gonna probably let fall off, and some of them I'm not gonna. Like, it's hard though, because there's some that I really like to smoke. Really like to smoke. So I want to keep it around because it's all my head stash anyway. You know what I mean? I don't know. I gotta have room for other ones to move in too. And
Well, I'm sure whatever plate replaces it will be just as good, if not better. It just usually works out that way.
yeah, dude, the Jelly Bean by Jack Skillington is kick ass. I can't wait to share some of that with you. That shit's badass. I got one of the phenols is super loud. I love it.
Will it change my mind about the orange?
It's not an orange.
No?
I mean, it's. See, that's the hard part. Like lemonine is like orange or whatever, but it's also lemon. But this one to me is like it's got that pink lemonade to it, like the Jelly Bean did. Your mom.
Nice.
But it's kind of like a weird. It's got like a weird dank background to it that the mom didn't have. So it's hard. It's complex.
And would you consider the complex thing just early in the cure?
Might be.
Or,
It might be. Yeah.
that's what I like about the fresher cannabis is that right there. It's kind of a little bit more complex. No bunch of more individual flavors, terp profiles to it.
It's all super frosty though. I thought they faded early, which I still think they did fade it earlier than I would hope, you know what I mean, than I would have planned or whatever. But wow, they came out really loud, really frosty. The ones that didn't die, I guess. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot to be said about having a appropriate amount of fertilizer and not too, you know what I mean, nutrient and availability for them, not too excess, you know.
Yeah,
You
cutting
can
them
pump
off
them
too
up.
early.
Yeah, you can pump them up or whatever and get a bigger yield and shit, but it's not. I don't know. That was just my experience this time, and it's anecdotal or whatever. But I've just noticed that when the ones are like dying, almost dying on the vine, they're like super loud, super sticky. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're not. They don't yield as much though. I do think you lose some yield to them, but
Really, when you let them go that little bit extra, I was kind of on the other side of that. That's when they densen up a little bit more
I'm not
naturally.
talking about going extra. I'm talking about when they fade early on the normal time frame. Like week 7, they're already
Oh,
fucking.
just by like a nutrient deficiency type thing.
Yeah, just starting to die on the vine.
Sometimes that happens though when you're like running a newer strain. So I think that used to be, at least for me, a little bit more frequent with like the mindset of, oh, you gotta flush, man, you gotta flush. Which I've kind of thrown that out the window a little bit. Time as time went on, but yeah, some with that mindset, you were always, or at least I was. Oh, I gotta flush. I'm kind of going by that pack. Oh yeah, it's an 8-weeker, so I better start cutting her off right about now. And then you turn like you're saying, oh shit, she could have went just a little bit longer, or she does go a little bit longer. Yeah, that's kind of harvesting by more of the senescence, or letting it go a little bit longer and trying not to worry about things I can do to densen up them buds. You know what I mean? Dropping that little mindset and just letting the plant go its more full turn.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of tricks, but the problem is the tricks are all different between different type, strains or whatever. So certain ones like to be, stripped down or whatever, and at a certain point in flower, and other ones they don't like it at all. You'll lose yield if you do it. You know what I mean? Some will like to be topped or not topped and shit like that. Like you start using tricks and they can kind of backfire on you somewhat too, unless you really know the strain and you really know. But the only way you get to know that is you do it and fucking, oh shit, it didn't like that. Okay. I won't do it again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Was that ask for forgiveness? Not permission.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that. So I don't know if that's a good rule to follow. It's always seemed to kind of get me in trouble.
It's a gray area.
Yeah, still in testing. That theory is still in testing.
'Cause, I would say I'm probably ahead on some of that. You know what I mean? Asking for forgiveness versus permission. Probably way ahead on that one.
It's going to taste pretty good for a mix.
Yeah, this is a killer round of ice cream cake, but now that I was thinking about it, it did fade fast, and I think that was why it's really killer. But it's also the last round of it. I don't have it no more, and it's that weird. What is that? The weird phenomena where you lose a cut and then you fucking. It's like the best round you've ever done of it, dude, and you would have kept it or whatever, but. It was like, no, I'm gonna cut that one out of the library, but I'll follow this one more time. And it's like they hear you and then they just fucking flex, It's funny.
Oh, I'm not fucking. If I got some cuts back, and even if I've made that decision, I'm like, still gonna run it, still plant, fucking make some hash out of it. Worst case, so give away weed. Since of killing off a perfectly good girl, I guess they're not be perfectly good. Otherwise, we'd keep them, right? Slightly good.
Slightly good. They're all good in some ways. I don't know. There's some of them I'd rather not even smoke, so I shouldn't say that. But that's being a bit of a snob, I guess.
Snob, weed snob. There's such a thing.
Allowed to be nowadays.
Fuck, I think everybody is these days, isn't it? Just, it's just a thing. So many weeds, so many different strains, so many ways to be able to get it. People's tried so many by now, or a lot of people's tried so many. They're like, I like the cookies. It's not, yeah. I think people are like pretty snobby these days for the most part. Not me. I'll smoke it. I think you know that about me. I'll smoke. I'll smoke some weed. I'm not too snobby.
I like when you run into the people that are like, I can't ever tell any difference between any of the weeds I smoke. I'm like, all right, okay. We'll try this one. Welcome to our world now. Like, the ever journey chasing the next one. Shit. That's how it is too, man. You always think you got the best weed until somebody hands you something that you're like, what the fuck is that? You know? It's always the next level shit. Like, I don't know. That's what the events are cool about. Is somebody's gonna hand you something, and it's like, holy shit, dude, what is that? You know?
Oh yeah. Same thing. I think that happens with seeds in our gardens too, though. You think everything's a keeper until like you pop that next round of something, and then that next round of something. It's like, wow, I thought everything else in the garden was good until this girl showed up and shit. No, somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to go. The bar was just raised a little bit, but it seems like that bar just keeps raising. But I don't know.
So would it be wrong to call it our harem instead of our library?
Pretty true, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
that just sounds way cooler. It sounds way cooler.
uh,
Bangus.
fine.
Mama Bangus.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to say hello
And
to
the
Southern
legend,
BT.
this is Bangus.
What up?
How you doing? Thought I'd jump up here with you guys. How are you?
Good, you already in Brazil? I see the jungle behind you now.
No, not yet. June 17th. It's Colombia, actually.
Colombia, all right.
Same continent. How you been, Smiley?
Good, man. Doing well. Monday. Fucking love it.
You go.
Now I get to go drag into work and remember all the shit I forgot about Friday. Oh yeah, that's right. Fuck.
I hear you.
You have a good weekend though?
What's that?
You have a good weekend though?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm busy all the time. I try to stay busy. The raspberry cross with the double white cheese is looking awesome. Very nice. Very nice. And I took. I'm making well. Let's see. I took the raspberry. I think I told you this. I took the male raspberry crossed with double white cheese, and I pollinated several plants, and one of them was the sugar cane. It's interesting when you pollen like a variety of plants, and then you get to see how each one develops the seeds. And like the sugar cake, man, it just took the pollen, and man, these nice huge seeds are coming. And then like the Bingusberry, not as much, and then I forget whichever I did the F2s with so I'm doing an F2 version of them. And again, not a lot of development, but certain strains really just, yeah, baby, let me, give me the pollen. Give me that. But
Yeah, they're the good girls. Just kidding.
there's Jet. I mean,
Dude, that Spartacus male, that's the double white cheese one, right?
yes,
That's pretty badass male, I think. Whatever you hit that to is gonna be kick ass.
it so far has shown promising. I did the male that I got through the cross with the raspberry is right up there. I'm thinking with Spartacus. I'm not sure what I'll name him if he does turn out good.
Who was after Spartacus? Wasn't Spartacus like a Greek warrior or whatever?
Yeah, but the raspberry male crossed with the double
Achilles?
is leaning towards Spartacus in vigor and in structure, has that raspberry smell to it, and that's what I'm using a little bit right now to play with. So it's a lot of fun.
That's badass. I bet that's gonna be real badass.
Yeah,
Especially carrying the raspberry smell to it. It's
that is a unique. I think it's that white widow Aloha white widow influence. It's a very tropically area type influence. You should find the original one of those, but as I say about many different strains, you don't really get the originals anymore.
yeah. I haven't run a lot of the raspberries and the crosses. I can smoke some raspberries by Jack Skillington, but I don't know. It didn't. It doesn't out proceed its mother. I would say. You know what I mean? Like it seems to have gotten muted. By the Jack. So it's got a different funk to it, and it's good stony weed, but it's not what I was like hoping to see. You know what I mean? I was hoping to find a pheno that would like. And I got more seeds to pop, don't get me wrong, but I got, like, I don't know. I wanted to see that berry come through more, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
You don't always cooperate.
Yeah.
What we
That
want,
was my pheno. I've had a lot of people praising it, though, that ran it as testers and all that, saying it was real loud berries.
it's a great,
It was my expectation of it. I was like, oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, so you're still making beans. How's that going? How's your seed company coming along?
Good. Good. Still doing, sending them out. We got cousin Nikolai. You don't remember cousin, right? They're rushing, and he's doing promotions for us, and he does every Sunday on YouTube and on Instagram. But most people are on Instagram as far as the chat goes. But he does the Sunday mornings. It's growing with the gurus, and then he has Michael Fang from Gage Green Group, Shark Mouse. I wasn't familiar with him before that, but he's real knowledgeable dude. And then there's another guy, and I can't think of his name either, which I feel bad about. But they do the gurus, which are they're helping cousin set up his grow room basically, and they're walking through it. And then at the end, after them guys kind of hop off, he does a giveaway. So he spins a wheel and gives off some seeds, and then he's got us in a few different grow stores. The Hydro Pros, is the sponsor. They sponsor him, and they have like our seeds for sale over the counter at their grow.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear of grow stores actually not being able to be afraid to sell seeds. That's where they go. That's why I always told Sub, I'm like, the menu needs to be right above the dirt.
True.
Good marketing. Yeah. Gotta have, gotta have, people know about it. And I'm just giving seeds away because they're F1s and what have you. But once I get into, stabilizing, then I will look to, possibly put together more of a professional pack instead of a piece of cardboard with a hole cut in it and a piece of tape. It's working now. It's a cheap way to get them out there, you know. But over 50 seeds off the over 50 packs went out on your 420 giveaway. They're still landing.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot to do in a short amount of time. You know, it's a lot of packages and organizing. And
I'm out of stickers, so I have to I have to reorder stickers. So I realize whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's not that expensive really to send them out with a 2-ounce stamp in an envelope. It's not too expensive, just to be honest. But they're F1s too. The platinum asset, I gotta say though, Smiley, every one of them so far has been a keeper. I'm just like, which one do I keep? They're all pretty stable in an F1.
yeah,
They're about 50-50, 50 keepers and the rest you can pretty much toss. And I'm telling everybody that too on the Bingusberry. It's an F1.
I got one that I got in flower right now. She's a little bit shorter than some of the other ones have kind of overtaken her as far as like growth wise, but she's really thick stem, real stout, you know what I mean? So she's gonna really hold some weight. So I don't mind that, but it'll be a little bit of a smaller plant. I'll just have to veg it longer or something like I am with platinum cake anyway. So it's not, you know what I mean? It's not a foreign thing from her mom. It's just a trait, you know what I mean?
I have several platinum cakes that I let them get huge. I just put them in the corners and just let them. And man, then you get the nugs that are, you
She
know,
throws down, yeah.
the short ones, I mean, you're getting fairy size, but if you let them get 4 foot, 5 foot tall, but you know,
But she came to me from a deep water culture garden, so like when I got your cut, I had it like shocked for a little while. Like I put it in soil, and she's just like, "Eh,
I
I
gotta
don't know
work
what
for
to
my
do.
needs.
Like, what is this? Like, ew." And then they just sit there for like 3 weeks, just like fuck off, you know. And then they finally take off, and it's all like different growth too. It's weird how they. It's almost like they gotta shed that off or something. I don't know. It's weird though.
you're right because it never experienced anything other than perlite.
Yeah.
So, but I'm mixing that up now. I'm doing 50-50 perlite and peat moss, and a couple of benefits. It doesn't drain as quickly. In other words, it doesn't evaporate as fast, and there's a little more stability. I don't have to put stakes in as quickly to hold them up because the perlite will allow things to just kind of flop around like a.
Yeah. It's too loose, right? Like it's not gonna.
They get a good root base, about halfway through flower. they're they're pretty good, but uh, in veg especially, you kind of have to keep an eye on them that they don't start listing, and then they're growing kind of strange. But
So
yeah,
you just straight fill the bucket with perlite, and then you got the drain holes an inch up or whatever.
2 inches up off of in a 3 gallon bucket's 2 inches in a 5 gallon probably be 2.5 inches.
So whatever you water in, it's to that hole. and then
Yeah.
you gotta have that for a day or two or whatever, and then you water again.
There it's a daily thing usually because I'm using 3 gallon buckets, and I know just by picking it up how much I need to put in. So I got it down to I know exactly what to bring in each time.
So
Every
you're fertilizing every time though, like, or you?
I use it 50%. This is important. You don't want to use full strength. It's a salt-based Blue Planet Nutrient Elite 3 line, but I do it half strength. And because by the time you get them ready to go into the bud chamber, they're starting to tip burn even at half strength. As you keep adding daily, the ppm slowly start to go up. And so just before they go into bud chamber, I flush. All right. And then I just add straight bud nutrients until day 36, day 40, and then I flush. And it's
What is your flushing though? Are you like just running straight running water through them?
cold water. Yep.
Cold water.
Cold water. And it takes about 4 gallons each bucket. Clear water coming out after that. And then they're good. And cold water seems to kind of bring out any anti-cyanin reaction. Uh, doesn't really stunt anything because by then they're getting their girth anyway. And so they just glide the rest of the way, and it's working pretty good.
No, they always look nice. Yeah, you got your system down. So
I think if you do it long enough, especially in a rotation, you got to get it. You got to have a system that works for you. Or I mean, you had your the way you did things, right? Yours was kind of a rotation as well.
yeah,
Everybody will gravitate to what works. There's no one way. I want to make sure that everybody understands that. There's no one way. Who is it? Who's the guy that does the Hempy Buckets you had up here once? Even
For me?
who's the guy that does the Hempy Buckets? You had him up here one time. Brain fart. Anyway,
Yeah.
his situation is slightly different, right? And he's doing also some RDWC, and he's doing the Hempy Buckets, and he's really doing well. So helps also for me. I like to keep things clean. You know, perlite's pretty easy to vacuum up. After every little watering, um, you're spilling shit, and sometimes it'll slop over, and there's all kinds of little things that can happen to get shit on the floor, and it's all easily vacuumed up. I'm noticing now that I have the mixing it that it's not as easy. It stains the floor now. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. All right. So there's always something. It's like a kink in a rope. You like try to fix it up here, and something else happens over there. And that's why I'm a pretty big believer in if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But trying to make some improvements. We'll see if it stays. It's just
it's always trying to improve something, man. What do you mean? There's never ending, like always something to improve. I don't know. At least it's trying to set up in a house or in a basement or something. It's like that. There's always some shit where you get it rolling and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta add this or do that or whatever.
and
So
then
I
back
can
in the
imagine.
80s when I was making boxes out of isocyanurated roofing insulation, inch and a half roofing insulation, I'd make a 4x8 or a 4x10 box and put a 400-watt halide in there. And then I'd have these tubes that were 4 inches, and you'd have about 5 plants, I think, in each tube. And they're in 9-ounce solo cups. They're, but they would end up getting 2.5, 3 feet tall. In the tube, I have a gravity drain nutrient. I had a bread box that was a plastic bread box with a float valve that was at the same level as all the tubes. So as the tube sucked that down, the float would drop, gravity feed would come in, and I could just shut that box for like a month at a time and just peek in the hole and see how things were doing. It was very good. I need to build one of those just to show those that are still fighting the fact they're in a red area that it can be done pretty stealthily like that. And you have a rotation. You put one tube in every week. Next thing you know, you're harvesting one tube every week. It's works pretty good. Everybody's situation is different.
Yeah. Always smelling every week though. That's the problem. Like you always got something hanging. It's always smelling. It's nice to do it like bam once a month or something, and then you got at least you know.
I agree. Here, the thing is, you're absolutely right because you every morning trim.
Yeah, yeah. It's the never-ending project then.
I get very sick of it.
Suppose it's a little bit at a time though, so it breaks it out. You know.
That's why it's like my first 2 hours, sit down, put the headphones on, and that's where I do my listening to online books and just kind of my study. And I just trim. You know, and it's just repetition does get quite boring. Chiba Man, that's the guy. Chiba Man's the guy that I was trying to think of. Chiba Man, sorry, I forgot. God, I got a brain fart. But he does the Hempy buckets as well.
She was cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Oh, you got
Rodney
everybody.
cool too.
That's this is the place to hang out if you want to be with the cool growers. Quite frankly, I try to wedge in every time I get a chance, but I'm not. Dude, I'm not online as much as I used to be. And it's a good thing. It's a lot of shit.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
It's not a bad thing. You know, it's funny because I think actually it's starting to catch on a little bit more. I'd seen a thing the other day that said the younger generations are now trying to fucking dumb. They're going back to like the dumb smartphones. They don't want smartphones. They want just a dumb phone. They don't want the bullshit no more. You know, it's like that's
I find
a
it
good
interesting.
trend.
I
Sorry.
agree. I find it interesting. I was just watching a video where all the politicians are apologizing now all over the world for this this pandemic, and it's interesting. Yeah,
It's ridiculous, dude.
it only took them 3 years to
Ridiculous.
grow. And what's going to happen to them? No,
Nothing is, and they made billions. You know what I mean? Like the money that flowed was unreal. Unreal. It was a scam for sure. It was a fucking scam. Like all the shit is. You know, I mean, like they're dropping bombs all over the fucking place, right? Just to whatever excuse they got, you know? They just throw down whatever excuse. You know, there's all kinds of other bullshit going on behind the scenes and like reasons why and whatever. And it's like, no, 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 no. This is why. We're here to help. You know, the fuck you are, man. Like blowing all this shit up. What are you talking about? Like,
they they really pissed off a lot of people this time worldwide.
yeah, sucks, man.
We'll see. People, man, says, how
A lot
could I?
of people don't talk about that, but we blew that fucking pipeline up too. You know what I mean? Like that was a huge natural disaster. You know, the amount of gas bubbling up and shit in the ocean that was fucked up, dude.
Well, they were told that Russia was told if they create a deal with whoever they were trying to create a deal with, that their pipeline was going to get blown up by uh, our president.
I know that's what's funny. You could see right through it. Is they said they were gonna do it before they did it, and then they did it, and then they tried to say no, 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 the Russians did it. And they were like, the fuck, like, the fuck.
That's what I'm saying. People aren't quite as stupid as they think they are.
Yeah, right. Uh,
They're living in a little bubble that they think it's supposed to go the way they planned it. Not nowadays. You know, we're not in the 1950s where, you know, one guy brings home enough money to raise a family and have enough for savings, you know, and buy a house. My dad bought our house for $1,200. Can you believe that?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, uh, I'm looking at the prices in Oregon for houses. It's like, are you kidding me? They're just, it's unbelievable. I was like, wow, we've
Yeah.
got
House is
the highest property tax in the world. So it's like, never own it, right? But I'm thankful.
There's some of them things just like things we want or they sound good. Like, all right, best way I can think of it, use as a model is cannabis. How many stories did we hear back in the day? Man, I used to get an ounce for $10. You'd sit there and go, damn, I wish I'd get an ounce for $10. How you feel about $10 ounces right now?
it wasn't even an ounce. It was just how much they
You
could
know
fit
what
in the
I'm
bag,
saying?
dude. It wasn't even
Same
an
thing
ounce.
about the house, man. Your parents are like, would sounds good right now. Man, I could get wish I could get a house like for that my kind of money until you turn around and try to sell your house and you're like, fuck, man. $1,800 rock. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess things sometimes sound good, but things in time can, change how good they actually sound, is what I'm saying.
Houses. Yeah, I've had some bad experiences there. So I don't want to own really, unless I can find one really cheap, and I'm not going to find that here in Oregon that's a fixer upper. Then I'll pound a few nails and try to make it something, but it's, I don't even think when the housing market crashes that the houses are going to be affordable. It's, we're too out of balance. Everything's way inflated, way out of whack. So, shit, what are you gonna do? Gas? Are you kidding me? I looked at a post that I made on my Facebook page. I was looking. It was 11 years ago, and gas was $1 something. I went, whoa! And that back then, I thought that was high because I remember my dad rolling up when I was a kid and paying 18 cents a gallon. So 18 cents, dollar, $5. And wow.
I remember a pack of basic cigarettes was $1.80, and that was when Marlboros were $2.35. So you could have saved,
What are they now?
I don't know, $6, $7, something like that. Depends where you're at, man. Like they're real expensive in certain areas. $16.
Wait, I'm glad I quit. Yeah, that's I'd be
See, well, you pay that much and you get discriminated against everywhere you go in like big cities and shit. You can't, no, 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 you can't smoke back here. No, 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 you can't, you know what I mean? It's like, the fuck, man. Airports and shit, they don't give a fuck about you wanting to have a cigarette or nothing. They're just like, no, you got to go back through security and wait back in line to get back in. So you better hope you got time, you know? Like, the fuck can't I have a smoking spot on the inside of security? Like, I'm the only smoker? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't know.
I
It's
would,
discrimination, man.
well,
Oh, I was waiting for that. That's what they're gonna say about these fucking cannabis events before too long. All the smokers are gonna be like, "Oh, this is fucked up. You can smoke weed, but I can't smoke a cigarette." There's gonna be like fucking tobacco protests and shit outside the fucking.
kind of,
Cigar guys, cigar clubs and shit.
Yeah, the Marlboro people could be out there just fucking tipping cars and shit. This is fucked up.
you got tobacco rolling papers. Is that a blunt? I mean, yeah, it's crazy. It's all designed to keep us under wraps. I don't know, man. It's pretty wild. I still feel like having a cigarette, like right now we're talking about it. Like, and just get that sucker going. I used to be first thing in the morning, after meals, after I took a dump, Monday, Tuesday.
Where you took a dump.
I used to smoke quite a bit. I started late. I started when I was 40. When I picked it up when I was in the joint. You could get a smoke break. Oh, I'm smoking. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this shit. And then 2004, I quit. It wasn't as hard. Like my boys, they're having trouble because they started when they were kids, trying to hide it from me. And I already knew. I didn't really bust them or anything. They both smoke. They're doing these like chew things now for nicotine to keep your habit down or some damn thing. It's an addicting son of a bitch, dude. I mean, it really is.
I chewed forever. And I always, and even as I listen to you guys talk about cigarettes and shit, at least it would chew, man. For it was less cost than a pack of cigarettes, and you could fucking take that dip and fucking, fucking suck on that thing for hours. You know what I mean? Versus that cigarette that went and you've had probably 10 in the same time as I've enjoyed that one chew. A lot less chemicals, I think, too, but I don't know.
Plus, you look cool like the baseball guys and the Cowboys.
But I bet you only one of us still has a big fucking hole in their lip right here from their habit. And it's been fucking, what, 20 some years since I've chewed.
Yeah.
That was a toughie, though. The dipping.
It's a killer, basically.
Well, they did a lot of fucked up shit with tobacco too, man. They do a lot of fucked up shit with it.
And I didn't like
like their whole game was to addict you to it, so they would fucking put different shit in. It wasn't necessarily just the nicotine. It was other shit that they were putting in the paper and whatever to fucking, oh, we'll make them hooked on our brand and shit. Like, it's like.
I didn't like the natural tobacco. Some guys, they were the nature guys, they'd roll their own. It was all pure tobacco. And I tried one of them, like, what the fuck is this? Give me a fucking Marlboro, Or I liked the ones in the blue pack. See, that's how far away from I am. I can't even think of the name, but strongest cigarettes I could get. American Spirits was another one that was really strong. I used to smoke. They were $7 a pack when so who knows what they are now? 20 probably. But I had to have the ingredients that I was addicted to, like you were saying, Smiley. It's not so much, I think, the tobacco, it's the ingredients that keep the tobacco burning. I remember I put a black light. We dimmed the lights one time. This kid had a black light. He goes, let me see your cigarette. There was shit in there that was glowing. And I'm like,
On the paper, yeah, I've seen it too.
what the fuck?
I still smoked it though.
Like, they can't be bad for us, the government,
Yeah, right. They're watching
They
us.
love us.
They got our back.
They
Just
love
like all the foods and the fucking red and blue dyes and bullshit. Like, it's like, what the fuck, man?
us.
Why are these illegal in other countries, but our country doesn't give a fuck about us? Like, what?
Price of food now. Man. Wow.
Is,
I'm glad
is
I
the
went
rule
back.
of thumb, as long as it doesn't kill us right away, is that it's passable? You sure it's in time?
I think that's part of it, man. They want to, like, slowly poison you and then you get whatever symptom. They don't fucking know, but then you're into the doctor to fucking get a prescription for that. And here you go. You know what I mean? It's like,
The more people that get off poisons, the more their minds clear, and the more they realize the truth of what's really going on. Tony's here. Hey, get the door, would you?
Well, that's why I was having a conversation today, and I've said this a few times that the shit that when we were younger, then they want you to fucking use these 5-hour energies, bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Dirt cheap. Yeah, you run all day. Fucking that shit's fucking cheap to you. When you're young in life, they'll market that shit, and fucking you're invincible. Here, 5 hour energy shot. This, that, the other thing. It's all the same companies that produce your medicine for you, but that shit they promote later in life, and then early in life rather, and then later in life, like they know you've run down off all the bullshit they've sold you earlier in life, and then now they're like, yeah, it ain't so cheap anymore. We want your house, your cars. You want to stay alive? These $900 each pills. You know what I mean? We're gonna take everything you got on the way out. So yeah, it's sick. It's a vicious cycle. They got you coming and going, basically. Cheers, Tony.
Figured appropriate for me to jump on with the cigarette in my hand.
And argue the fact. There you go.
It sucks, trust me, I hate it, but I have been able to I'm slowly kind of working it out. So I'm down to these, actually I'm smoking these fucking things now.
Oh,
American Spirit. And they don't, they last longer.
yeah,
Like a Marlboro, it's like 3 fucking drags and the thing's gone. These things, it's like I get through halfway and I'm like, I have to put it out, you know.
well, when you're Hercules and you're,
Yeah, I don't know what they're putting in them. Then they go out too by themselves. You're not, you don't puff on it in, 30 seconds or more. The fucking thing just dies out. It's like, wait a minute. All right, what's in there that's making it die out? No, don't worry about that. It's a safety thing. For your health, for your benefit.
No, I don't think they do anything for humanity's benefit. They being those that rule Earth. I don't think so. We're a commodity to be traded and culled as needed. They keep it. I mean, again, I think I made this analogy once before. If we were all rabbits, I mean, if you had a herd of rabbits and you didn't try to control the population somehow, the rabbits are going to take over everything. So we're the rabbits. Only we're smarter. And the thing is the rabbit keepers of the humans, basically those guys, they seclude themselves. So they don't really stay in touch with the rabbits to see what their capabilities are. They figure, well, let's see, we've had this poison program in force now for 150 years. They ought to be stupid enough now to believe anything we tell you. Put a mask on. Here, take this jab. Here, pay this parking ticket. Obey these laws. They're not laws, they're statutes. Right? They can all be changed. It's funny. If you want to fuck with a traffic court, just say, no, I want to go see the judge. And then the couple days before you go to see the judge, you call and say, hey, I'm sick, postpone. And you do that as long as you can. And they're just a gnat on their docket all the time. That's like, dude, how do we get rid of this guy? Pretty soon, they'll just clear it. Because you're costing them too much money to keep your little dot on the docket than to pay the $75 fine for the ticket. But who has the time to do that? Probably old guys that are retired like me. But most people are just like, dude, I'll pay the ticket. That's what happened to me the last time I got a speeding ticket. Dude, I'm pulling out to take my son's girlfriend to work. And we have a two-way street. It's a busy street. I had a small window to get out. It was like 5 o'clock traffic. And I speed ahead because I don't want the guy that I cut in front of to rear end me. Hey, you speeded up to 40 miles in a 25. I'm like, I was trying to avoid a collision. I just gave him my license, insurance card. He goes, oh, you got it all ready for me. I go, yeah, here you go. Go ahead and do your little money take and grab there. You're a revenuer. You're not really a cop. I didn't say any of that. I said, hi, officer, how are you today? Here. You don't want to piss them off. I did that.
No, their egos are way too fucking fragile for that kind of shit. You can't do that.
No, I had my ass kicked by cops once because I was being a dick. I got thrown in prison for being a dick to the judge. I mean, I used to be a dick, basically. I didn't like authority, any kind, anyhow, anyway. Fuck you. And
I still don't.
I'm a little less vocal about it now, but you know what I mean? Anyway.
Well, that was brought to you by Chase Bank. How to get out of tickets by being.
At the time, if people can't afford to do that shit, they just like, dude, how much is it? Usually, fine was like $125. This guy that wrote me a ticket. I went in there. This is interesting. The counter, and I've been in there before, of where I pay, is down about my crotch level, and it's like you're standing up, so you got to like bend over, right? And this girl's always looking up to you and trying to explain things. So I got on my knees, all right, to talk to her face to face. And she goes, do you want to contest it? I go, no, I'm just going to pay you. She goes, really? Well, yeah. And she goes, well, I can give you a discount. I'm like, please, dude.
They have sale days for tickets now. This is great. I didn't know that.
Your knees for
That's
me?
why it always pays to be nice to him, though, man, or polite at least, and not, not intentionally be a dick. Because I don't know.
Everybody's a dick to her.
I was thinking when you said that, I was thinking of Chris Rock's. He did a skit that was like how not to get your ass beat by the police or some shit. It was like different scenarios, and he was like showing how to not get your ass beat by the police.
Nice, basically. Right? I mean, I dropped to my knees to get face to face with her, and she's looked just like, "Whoa, really?" Like, yeah, shit. I'm here to pay. I'm bending over hurts for me, so I'm just going to drop down. You know, whatever. She dropped it to $87. Kind of fun. Promo code Drozilla says promo code Bingus for 20% off your traffic violation. Yeah, and send me a portion of that, please.
I don't know about you guys, but we have these cameras now at the traffic lights. So like if you kind of like scooch through and cut, you know, like they ping you and you'll get a ticket in the mail. Oh, it looks like a ticket. Picture your car going through the red light and the whole business, right? But what I found out was just don't pay it. Just take that thing, throw it right in the garbage can. They'll keep sending it to you for like a year, and then they'll just stop. It's not well, at least here it's not through the police. It's an outside party that they're allowing, you know, they're renting the space to put their cameras up so they could photograph stuff. And then they send the police, well, hey, we got this guy going through a red light, and then they issue a ticket. And then I just say, fuck you. And the other thing I've heard is somebody else has gone in and said, no, I'm going to fight it, and said, threw the thing on the table and said, you show me where I'm driving that car. There's 20 people that have access to my car at all times. It could be anybody. So you show me where I'm driving the car. You can't, then I'm not taking the ticket. And then they just threw it out. That was the end of it.
They've already figured in that there's a certain percentage of loss, and those that don't do that far outweigh the ones that do. So they're like,
oh,
hey,
yeah.
Get rid of it, you know. And
well, I wouldn't suggest just ripping through those lights now and just not paying. I mean, after a certain point, I'm sure something's going to happen, but you know.
The thing is too, like Stoney, nothing's happened yet. All right. Now, I've had a situation, I can't remember what it was, where I had a ticket I never paid. This is so long ago, but it happened. I got arrested. The next time I got pulled over, they took me in. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh, you have a warrant. I'm like, what? And it was for a ticket that I didn't fucking pay.
Yeah, dude, like that's gonna be some bullshit though. Like once they got like, you know, now they start with stoplights with cameras, and then it'll be fucking speed limit signs with radars and cameras,
They do have that here
You be
too.
crossing under like a bar that goes over the whole fucking road, and it's fucking reading your license plate and everything everywhere you
Yeah.
go. You know what I mean? And they'll know, oh, you went 52 in a 45 or whatever. That's 7 mile an hour and over. Bam, here's your ticket or whatever. You know?
Chicago has that, Smiley. They already have that. They've had it now for years. So yeah, there's zones. So if I'm going through the city, let's say I don't know where I'm going, so I'll have my GPS thing going. It'll actually tell you, warning, speed camera ahead. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I've gotten actually a ticket. They're doing 35 and a 30. And that's through the city of Chicago, so I wouldn't suggest throwing that one away.
What do they allow? Is there like a 10% allowance? Or they 33 would have been good? Like what?
You can go down there and fight it. I don't know. No, I think they'll ping you for 1 mile an hour over.
What?
Yeah, well, most of these cameras too are in like school zones and park areas. You know, where there's like parks where there's lots of kids and shit. They don't fuck around. Chicago takes your money, period, point blank. They don't care. I mean, you could fight them. You could try.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. But you just waste more time, you know, taking off of work.
Yeah.
And if you ever been to Chicago, you really don't want to sit down in their courtrooms down there. Not a fucking great place to be.
Oh, dude, I hate being in courtrooms, man. Like
Probably more
PTSD from anything. It's that, like being in a courtroom. No, I'm good. I'll avoid that at all costs, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Big Brothers, man. That movie 1984 is all coming. Well, it was actually the book, but they made a movie of it. That shit's coming true, man, little by little. I'm just glad I'm gonna probably be dead before all that happens.
Do you think so?
Yeah, probably.
It is going to be interesting. I don't know. There's a interesting mix of politics happening right now. It's pretty strange when we've always had what is that, the NATO or whatever, and now there's the trying to blank on the name for it's China, Russia, and India.
Oh, they're
oil-bearing Middle East now are outside of that. So, like politically wise, you're talking like petrodollars disappearing. That's about to happen, like legit. You know, like.
Well, it's power shift, right? I mean, it happens every 500,000 years or something like that. There's a power shift in the world. You know, England and America ran everything. You had England, the oligarch, and you had us making all the stuff, building stuff, and you know, creating commerce around the world. And now it's going to be Russia will be the oligarch, and China's going to be like the U.S. and they'll be making stuff, and they pretty much are already. 90% of the shit we buy now is from there.
Yeah, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
Opening those doors back in 92, Clinton.
Well,
Yeah.
Looking back, I think that was partly because they wanted to show. So, like, American-made stuff was a big push, right? I remember that when I was younger. Everything was like, you know, buy American or whatever, and even like cars and stuff. But now it's like you don't ever hear that, you know. You don't ever really see that or whatever on any like advertising or anything. And it used to be a thing, you know.
Well, that big push came like in the late 70s, I want to say, when we had the gas and oil shortage and bullshit, the embargo against us, and then all of a sudden they started shipping in the Datsuns and the little cars.
Well, what I'm getting at was they were outsourcing the manufacturing and bringing in cheap shit right when inflation was happening years ago. Because all of a sudden you could buy a vacuum cleaner because it was from Mexico or wherever that it was fucking half the price. You know what I mean? And they were shortchanging like that inflation a little bit by outsourcing stuff. All of a sudden we got these cheap goods and dollar stores and all this shit going on, right? Like And it was like, oh, cool, we can keep buying the shit we want or whatever. Like, but it was just a kind of we outsourced it to a cheaper thing, and it was still the same price. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like a way of hiding the inflation of what was really happening to the dollar back then. You know what I mean?
They've been fighting this for years. What's
And
about?
they've been hiding it for years. The amount of inflation, they've just been hiding it for years.
Well, if you look at the price of silver, it's been suppressed. I started buying silver, what, I don't know, quite a while ago, but it got up to like $40 an ounce. And then what, it dropped to 25? What? No. Right now it's 24, 25 again. It was down to like 2018, right in there. And it's suppressed. Silver, there's less silver than there is gold. It should be valued higher than gold, not less than.
Well, that's because there's people in control of those markets that decide on how much your fucking gold's worth and how much silver's worth and what diamonds are worth. There's piles of diamonds. People think diamonds are precious. They're not. They're garbage, man. It's like gravel. They got fucking warehouses packed to the gills with these fucking things. But every Monday morning, go downtown New York City, and there'll be those Hasidic Jew guys handing each other little pieces of paper back and forth. And that, guess what? Those are the prices, man. They're talking prices right there. We're setting the price for the day or for the week, whatever. It's crazy.
It's the banks that are controlling that, though, because all the countries are indebted to these banks, just like we are to the Federal Reserve. And we see that big ticker going up on the national debt. Well, China's got a national debt. Russia's got a national debt.
Sure. Because
these banks that are funding all this fucking chaos and shit that's happening. You know what I mean? Like that's the mind fuck about it all. Is like
that's what you're saying.
Politics are there between the nations, but there's also this behind the scenes like money making fucking scheme whole thing. Like,
and that's what's
orchestrated to make money. Like literally.
Yeah. Fiat currency is a controlled system. We invoke it in the United States, then we got it into the petrodollar to have it accepted worldwide. And those that don't accept it, all right, don't accept the Federal Reserve debt-based currency, fiat currency, we go around with our military and we bomb the shit out of them. And they usually have a gold-backed currency, right? Or they use gold and they have a real values-based currency. We bomb the shit out of them and then install a fiat currency system with a fake democracy to basically enslave them, right? So,
like how we fucking ruined Libya, because Libya used to be self-sufficient, man. Everybody had money, everything was good, but we went over there and we made the Gaddafi guy to be so evil and bad, and all he was doing was trying to keep everyone out of his shit. And we went in there and we made up bullshit. We bombed them, killed him, and spam. I mean, dude, we got some nefarious cocksuckers running this fucking country, world, that I wish I could have fucking at least 30 seconds in a fucking locked room with at least one of them. That's all I'll need.
It's fake, my friends. Everything.
Fuck.
We've been
I feel bad.
Downside of the Turkish mix, my friend. Sounded like a good plan. Smoked like a good plan. Just found a random seed. Now I don't know what it is.
Sometimes those are the best.
Yahtzee.
Big fat fucking coconut looking motherfucker too, and a bunch of seedless fucking pot. Like one of those ones like it was meant to be and shit. It's like we're saying. Not a clue what it is now because I threw everything.
He jumped in without shoot, man. He's like, man, I'm going stealth.
That's funny because I've been emptying out like my old pots from the barn. I've been making rows in the garden and shit. And I was out there the other day. These are older rows of soil that I dumped out from the earth boxes or whatever. But out there the other day, I'm looking and my brother's like, "Look at that shit!" And it's fucking, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches tall. It's beautiful looking, nice, healthy, strong stem. She's like this tall, just like ready to fucking go, dude. Like, hell yeah. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. It just popped out of the soil that was down there. But it's one of the angels because it had to have been. I did a few of the crosses that were done in earth boxes that were dumped out there. So it's one of them that fell or whatever when I was harvesting or something.
Now you got to grow it out.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I gotta let it shine now. I don't know. I didn't really prepare for it. It's like in a weird spot in the yard, actually. So
That's the grand plan of cannabis, to keep us on our toes.
yeah, right. I'm gonna have to do a bunch of work around it and shit. Try to make sure she's ready. I don't know.
Will
I
you
don't
see,
want to grow a big tree.
it's like, will you see me? Because if you do take the time and cultivate it, it's gonna be worth your while. But if you just say, fuck, right? You're bad. You're lost, basically. You never know. I
So,
love
hey, I gotta ask you guys. So Larry calls me today. He's like, "Hey, man, I was cleaning around in my basement and I found this fucking maracas that were made somewhere in Jamaica, and they were made out of red stripe bottles. And the maracas inside, the beans are seeds, cannabis seeds. And he got these like in like 1991 or 92. He said, he's like, dude, what shit? They were worthless shit, but now I'm thinking, could we grow that stuff? I'm like, maybe. I'm like, if we can't crack one, then we can fucking try tissue culture, you know?
There's some great names for those sprouts, like
So
Kuko.
They
he's
filled that
already,
bottle, dude. You got enough seeds in there as long as you didn't
he's
shake.
popping them open. He's dumping the seeds out right now. He's got a little nail file. He's scuffing shit.
That's awesome.
What's up, Arsini?
Hey, Dee, what's happening, brother?
Oh, Stoney, Fingers,
What's up, buddy?
Spud, Eagle.
Good to see you, man.
All good. I thought I'd just jump on, say hello. Just let Fingers know that I'm about to get his very, very wet.
Nice. Remember, half of them are going to be mutants, so just pluck
Yeah,
them. Just pluck.
that's true.
I've grown a few of them out just to see, and they're just worthless. But the ones that aren't, I think you're going to be very happy, my friend. I really do. I really like your setup too. I see you made a post today that was pretty amazing. So I'm watching, doing great things. Ever since I've known you, man, you've been extremely positive, dude. And I've known you for many years actually on here. And it's just nice to have a place where we can come and actually hang out with Eagles next to and meet you face to face. You know, it's awesome.
You know, so I feel the same about you. You know, I've always heard good things about yourself, especially from other people, not just watching stuff, but I hear stuff through the back channels, how much of a generous person you are, and it showed on the giveaway that you just done. You know, it's that's what I strive to be essentially is to just, you know, I'm just playing with the plants and having a little bit of fun, and if I can give back in any sort of shape, way, or form, that's what I aim to do.
Good things, I think, when you do that. At least that's been my experience. I've changed a lot, basically. And I thought to myself, they're F1s. You know, not all of them are going to be stable. So what better way to get back and just explain they're F1s, you know?
Yeah.
Get them out there. God, I ran out of stickers. I'll give more away too, but I ran out of my sticker.
That's part of the game, you know. When people say to me, you know, oh, so and so's got Hermes, and you know, shit like that. I'm like, well, it's just part of it. You know, if you're not experienced enough to weed these sort of things out, you shouldn't be doing it. You know, or get something that's a little bit more up your street, maybe.
I agree. I was live and somebody was asking me about S1s, and you know, everybody gets their panties in a bind about herms, and it's really just a hormonal thing, especially if the plant doesn't have any males around. it's a procreational action on their part just to propagate their lineage, and it's a natural event. Uh, you may get a little pollen with over here, over there, but it's not drastic. Now you have some plants that just go full blown, everything's just a flower. It's supposed to be a female. Well, yeah, that's an anomaly that you don't want to propagate. You want to get rid of it, but that's part of growing too. If you haven't experienced that, you really haven't grown long enough because you will experience it. So,
Hey guys, I'm gonna hop out, so I'm
great to see you, Smiley.
for the next day here. So appreciate hanging out, Eagle. Thank you.
When I next
yeah,
get to the
yes,
post
man.
office, Smiley, you can expect that things we talked about.
Oh, sweet. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
What I was gonna ask you, there's no restrictions where you are. It's what I put on the label. I can just put seeds.
Yeah, there's no restrictions.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, that recent post I seen, what was that again that you just posted where I commented on there?
I think that was the raspberry soul.
Yeah, dude, that's what a great name and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks tasty. Does it taste like raspberry?
Not the red one. The green one I've still got hanging, which actually has a little bit of a fruity sort of raspberry smell about it. But the red one, I'm not impressed with. To be quite honest with you, I'm not looking forward to it. It's a bit gassy, a bit fuely. I'm a fruity, sweety candy type of guy, and yeah, this red one, it's not for me.
I can relate to that. I grew one that was supposed to be spectacular called Sirius Black, and it was very purple. Just not didn't taste good, no punch, nothing. And it's typical sometimes of high anthocyanin production to lower the intensity of the THC and some of the other terpenes as well. I've heard, but it looks beautiful. You know,
It does look nice. Well, I'm hoping, I looked at them very berries, and that's well, I'm quite chuffed actually, because I was on at Smiley about getting that platinum a long time ago, and just by coincidence, I've managed to get it in some sort of way or fashion from yourself. But the very berry one is because I like the reds. I do like the colourful stuff.
the benefit with that anthocyanin reaction is it comes from my biggest blackberry, which is a heavily leaning Afghan indica, and it's very strong. It's not weak. And so it brings that across, but it also brings that purple redness. And not all the phenos are as colorful as that one that I have in my video, but they all have the color. Some of them are a lot more frosty, and you get the nice nugs because of the influence of Spartacus. So you get the berry, and then because on the biggest berry, the nugs are just they're just nothing to write home about. But when you smoke them, you're like, fuck. And then you run out because each plant only gives you about an ounce. It's like, fuck. So that's why I crossed it. I was like, okay, let's see what. And that's why I call it the Bingus berry, because it really resembles what I wanted to see in the Bingus blackberry. And I don't even let that plant out because it's so disappointing. I mean, the bud is awesome and I love to keep it, but it's not worth trying to make any money on it because you never get any kind of yield whatsoever. And
It's plants like that. I'm not worried about growing small plants, and yield. And yeah, I'd like to have it all perfectly in a perfect world. You'd like to have yield and quality. But when it comes to things like that, you just have to grow 2 plants. If you're not happy with what you get off one, you just grow 2. If you're not happy with what you get off 2, you grow 3. That's the way I look at it.
I wish that you were closer because I get you the blackberry. That's a great one to breed with. I'm learning. I've crossed it with several different plants, and it always brings that strong purple berry Afghani indica into the scene. And it's just a good one to work with. But I hear you, man. If you're just growing for quality, which I try to do as well, but I have people that want stuff, and it's like it's nice to have the big, nice nugs. You know what I mean? Like the sugar cake. That's another one I'm playing with. It's nice big nugs, frosty as hell, and it does. It kind of surprises you. It has a different taste, but some of the Jungle Boy stuff is pretty good. I was kind of impressed, you know. So
Yeah, I think I've heard a bit about them. I think there's the strain hunters and that have actually used some of their stuff in the past. It's not been too bad.
so many strains. What now? Do you guys have a lot of strains over there? I mean, is it like in America?
We have everything that you have. But we have a lot of. It's a lot of cheese, but because that's the backbone of the UK. Cheese and Stardog at the moment. It used to be cheese and amnesia, but Stardog has phased out the AMI, it seems like. But everyone's into, they want what they call Cali packs and stuff. I take it we're getting the stuff from California that's gone out of the back doors over there, and it's coming here, and it's being sold for £500 an ounce. That's, to people that want to just because it's got California written on it or something. It's literally crazy how much the market is all hype. I think I take it as that's the age of the internet now, isn't it? Everyone's looking at whatever on Instagram, and everyone's sharing stuff. Everything's just all overhyped, and
Yeah.
Fucking overhyped. I watched the thing yesterday. It was like, well, it was like a 2 Chainz world like most expensive. He does some shit like that where he runs around, smokes. You probably guys know what I'm talking about. So him and Saber Silverman get together, and they're smoking weed yesterday, and they fucking, and then guess what? Guess what? So overrated. That's what I'm getting to. It's fucking Kyle Cushman is what's the weed, and the veganics was, that he was selling the whole veganics thing, and he's like, well, veganics, why? They're like, so what makes veganics better? And he was like, well, sir, veganics growers pay like 20% more to feed their plants than normal growers. So their weed costs more right off the bat. He was trying to, and even 2 Chainz almost fell out of his fucking chair laughing when he said how much he thought he was going to get an ounce. $1,000 an ounce because it was the veganics weed and shit.
Oh, dude. His company failed. He just popped up on Instagram. He hasn't been on in over a year. And he comes right up and says, well, Vegan Matrix, it didn't work out, but this new stuff I've been using is even better. And I'm thinking, oh my fucking God, dude, you're Kyle Cushman. This is sad, bro. Like, if I had your name, I could go make a lot of money right now and not sucking some dick just to get some free nutrients. I don't know, man, whatever. No hate on the dude, but when I see someone that has something and they're out there pushing it and then it fails, and then the next day he's online going, no, but this stuff is better and it's been around forever, and it's like, oh, you've lost all credibility. Strawberry cough or not.
Well, credibility is number one. I mean, you don't can't do much of anything.
He lost his own credibility during that interview, by the way. And it was funny because he's sitting there talking about, well, he shows the difference. Well, this is the difference. And he opens up this box and he's handing out the different samples. It smells good. And then comes time for the smoke. and he hands out uh, individual joints. There was no passing of the joints between the celebrities. Everybody got their own. And then he tells about how smooth it is. So take it in. You're not gonna cough. And 2 Chainz hits it again, and fucking gets a nice little cough going. And he's like, "Well, that's weird." And then he takes a hit of it, and he gets a cough. And he was like, "Oh, that's just coincidence, just coincidence." And they're like,
Must have been a bottom bud. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Oh man, it sucked too to see that because I like him. You know, I actually reached out to the dude like 4 or 5 years ago and got my hands on some strawberry cough seeds and shit. And then now he's just, I don't know. It's like he's running for his life. Like he's doing whatever he can just to stay afloat. I don't know. It's weird. I feel bad. That's the case.
I like the idea of it too, but it's just the price tag of it all. You know,
Yeah.
I appreciate the higher stuff, but that, you know, basically even said his comparison was the average grower pays what $20 $20 to $60 per pound to grow it, and he's like, mine costs 200 you'll spend to grow that.
To go,
Just the markup was justifying it.
needs to sit in on a few groceries.
I would love to sit down though and take his weed and then put some of mine in there, growing with salts, and mix it all up, and then say, "Here, puff on these things and tell me which one's organic and which one's growing with salt base."
I think as a community, we should invest in these Purple Pro testers or Perp Pros, and we can pass them about. You know, we can mail it to each other. At least we can have the abilities now to test our own product against the big boys, you know, and be like, well, your numbers don't really mean shit because look at the numbers I'm putting out or whatever. No, but I would love to have that piece of equipment just to be able to test, you know, just put a 0.3 of a nug in my grind it up and be like, yeah, this is what it is or whatever. But you know, it's all at the minute. Everything's just based on look. It just looks good. You know, it's got to be. You know, if it looks good, it's got to be good. Looks can be deceiving sometimes.
I hammer the people I provide for. They actually get kind of fed up with me, I'm pretty sure, because I want to know. I'm like, make sure you tell me your honest opinion of this, right? And so far, they've kept me on target. To the point where I've tossed certain strains that I thought were good, but I couldn't get a general consensus that agreed with me. You know what I mean? And so your market can dictate what you do, at least it does for me. I mean, if you're just growing for yourself, of course, you know, it's the same rules apply, but you're the only one you have to please. Like
yeah,
I said,
it's not. I suppose in one way, I always think more like bragging rights. You know, that's my goal. I suppose is to produce the best, and you know, if I'm doing it by everything looks the part, smells the part, and everything, but I've never had no numbers to back anything up. And it's the same with the soil testing. I'd love to have access to do all of that, you know. And I'm just working off intuition, you know. And I just love. I like the way the future is going for us. Like, I mean, I would imagine soon we'll just be able to take a picture of a plant, and that's just going to diagnose it for us, or some sort of stuff like that. You know, it ain't going to be long before that's happening.
I agree. Dude, that's the way to grow, in my opinion. I don't think that's why I'm not a big fan of grow shows, I'll be honest. I mean, I don't hang out at them. I don't try not to participate. primarily because everybody has a different way of doing it. And the bottom line is what works for you and what satisfies you and those that you may serve. And like I seen you're kind of touching on the intuitional aspect of working with nature. I mean, we are pretty much the custodians of this planet. And so many people don't even know what that means. I mean, so it's when you get a relationship with cannabis in particular, I start to think that it's running the show, not so much me. Because like Eagle, I find that one seed, like, how did that happen? Or who was it, Smiley, or whoever found the seed? Was it you, Eagle? Yeah. I mean, is that coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think anything is coincidental in our lives. No?
So there's pathways, and it's whether you choose left, whether you choose right, is to what you're going to experience. You know, you've got the choice at the end of the day. You got free will. You know, and it's up to you what you do, whether you procrastinate or whether you're making informed decisions, or you're just winging it. And sometimes I feel like that's, you know, I sometimes I feel like I'm making informed decisions, and a lot of the time I feel like I'm just fucking winging it, and you know, shit's gonna fall out some point in time. You know, I'm gonna have a bad run of it, but at the minute I'm on a good run. I'm being positive, and everything seems to be reflecting back. You know, if I put out positivity, it comes back towards you, and you get rewarded in the things you care about, and that's my family and my plants, really. And yeah, I'm a happy chappy with all whereas that's concerned. I put that down to just being good, honest, clean living, and being genuine. Yeah, it's the whole fucking plants and breeding, and it's a whole fucking. I don't know.
I'm on that
I'm
page.
just babbling now. Someone else talk, Stony.
You're doing good.
I'm on that same page with you, buddy.
I'm excited to hear how you get on with from your South America visit. You know,
I have a good feeling. I really do. We'll see. It's all the delays again. If you look at it in the grand scheme of things are coming together nicely, and more so the way it should be than me trying to push it. You know what I mean? Trying to push. And there's a lot of delays. I didn't really get too upset along the way. Normally in my old days, I'd be fuming and trying to throttle somebody in the government because I wasn't getting my passport. But I just went through the steps. I didn't push. I just let it happen. And now I'm going to go down there on the 17th, spend a week with a couple of great guys that want to talk to me. They've been all over my YouTube page, and they want to talk to me. So I'm like, okay, let's talk. I mean, there's a lot of cannabis in Colombia. There's a lot of stories about, well, who was the guy you had on the other night that was the smuggler, Eagle? I talked to you about
Tim McBride.
cowboy.
So
Saltwater cowboy.
there's a lot of stuff coming out of Colombia. So we'll see. I have a good feeling though. They should treat you for the price you pay, but I have yet to find anybody that hadn't had stellar results. So
It's a shame that I mean it's partly an age-related condition. But it's when the way you were talking about, you know, our food, our lifestyles, and everything.
Yeah.
If you had known what you knew now, you probably wouldn't be in the position you are now. It's just took you the best part of your life of doing all this shit and doing all that damage before you realise I'm fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what bothers me with this world today, because we all know what's fucking going on, but nothing's changing, and it's just still going on with this plan of making us all sick and unhealthy and unable to thrive. Yeah, and that's where I want to get us as a, our community. I feel like doing all this talking between us, coming together, we're separating ourselves from the mainstream of everyone's just running down this path to doom. We're a little bit different, I feel.
Things are
But
changing.
yeah, it's just a shame that it's took us the best part of our lives before we've realised that. A lot of us in this group here, me, Eagle, Stoney, yourself is a little bit older, but me, Stoney, and Eagle, and a few of the other lads, we're all around the same age. I'm now going to turn 50. Eagle's just over 50. Stoney's just over 50.
55 now, bro. Got my AARP card.
It's a shame that it's took us this long. It really is to sit here and come together and realise that think we can do things differently to what we've been led to believe we should be doing. Because it's
at least we found it. There's some fuckers that never find it. They keep going.
That's what they count on. They count on us not finding it. They count on us getting so poisoned that we don't care, right? We don't have any moral guidance. We don't have any real spiritual connection. We're just trying to get by, all right, with our hand out for the most part, because we're so clogged with all this shit. I've had to go back to my vegan diet, and I got to say, I've dropped more weight, which I really didn't have to lose. And I feel great. All right. And my mind, my meditations are so much clearer, my everything. But I don't eat now. I don't eat except vegetables and nuts. Right. So I'm grazing throughout the day. I'm not really sitting down to a meal. But things are becoming crystal clear. My premonitions and intuition and just ways of doing things is not the same when I'm on the shit diet. Because I was on the vegan diet a couple of years ago. I slipped off. I have a huge sweet tooth. So I was invoking the inflammation. So I'm already ahead of the game before I even get there, because my inflammation has dropped considerably just by the nutritionist telling me, you gotta go to this diet if you want all the money you're spending to last. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I'll do whatever. To feel this way, I'm definitely going to continue to do what I'm told in that regard, because they're not trying to indoctrinate me into a lie. They're trying to make me grow, not only as a human being. Like I've said many times on my live streams, this is a meat suit until you turn it into a vehicle, until you can turn it into a spaceship. It's such a marvelous instrument for our souls to ride around in. And they know that. They don't want us hanging around for 100, 150 years or more, fucking up their plans. Right?
Yeah, because then eventually we're all going to be like, fuck you, we ain't doing it, Right. I'm already at that at fucking 55. I can only imagine by the time I hit 100, if I had another 50 years, at 100, I'm pretty much like 30. It's time to kick some ass.
That's how I feel. I got shit I want to do. My body's holding me back, and it pisses me off. Yeah.
I'm done. This whole government thing is bullshit. I'm sorry, guys. Anybody that's got a left, right, and if you chose a side, then you chose to be plugged into the matrix and stayed there, because I don't see it. I've never seen it. Even 20, 30 years ago, I've not seen a Democrat help a fucking poor person yet. All right. And I ain't seen a fucking Republican fucking do anything great for any. Trump this. Yeah, I know. But you know what? Guess what, man? These fuckers are all in it together. And they're all at the top of the fucking food chain. And that's where they're going to stay. And they're going to make sure to keep us down there. The assholes that are our senators, they're just selling us the bullshit. They're the car salesmen. You got the managers in the back.
In order to be a politician, you got to be able to lie with a to anybody.
Well,
So,
one of these days it might come down to being a politician. You're going to have balls because you're probably going to end up dead.
that time may be coming. I don't know.
How many politicians are there in every state? 20, 30? I'm sure we could garner up 20, 30 people in each state and start fucking taking people out all at one time. All right, I'm going to stop talking like this. I'm getting a little too free thinking for the masses, I think.
Google might step in, you never know.
I hate the fact that there's humans out there that want to have control over other humans. Okay. I fucking hate that. I hate anyone that's going to try and control me, period. And I don't want to control anybody either. I don't want to fucking thumbprint somebody and make them do shit. Helping, training, teaching, learning is all the stuff we need to do with each other. We don't need to control.
See, your founding fathers had the right idea because they set in place something called inalienable rights. And we don't have that over here. We have something called the UK Constitution, which is similar to inalienable rights. But the problem is they don't teach you what your inalienable rights are. And these are your natural God-given born rights, the rights you were born with, the rights not to be told by or forced into anything by your government. Yeah, these rights are being took away from us, and we need to get back to the system where they put the government back in its proper place, and that's below us, men and women, that they work for us. Yeah, we're their boss at the end of the day. Yeah, we don't have to answer to them. They're not superior in any sort of way, and it's just the way our society has become. It's like we've been lied, we've been conned. It is a con. Everything is we've been deceived really big by the doctors. They're all Freemasons. They've all been going to these private universities and colleges and cliques, and they're all linked in together to be against us, the common people.
Right.
Amen.
I agree.
We need to rise up. I'm ready to rise up.
I am. Let's go.
We know where they are. Let's go fucking get them.
Where you want to meet? Puerto Rico? We could probably get there around the same time.
Definitely make some good points, my friend.
True points. I mean, they've taken our sovereignty from us, period.
Yeah,
You've got no right.
They can't.
You walk into a courtroom here, you've got zero rights. They don't give zero fucks about you, your sovereignty. You and I talked about this, Iceni, a few times.
See, this is the thing. They can't take your rights only if you give it to them. Yeah, you can give your rights away, but they can't take them. See, that's
yeah, but we've been conned into giving our shit away.
Yeah. It's all about acquiescence, and your silence is consent. So if you don't say no, you've said yes. So, it's one of those sort of things. Oh, we're going to pass this law and change the rules, and unless there's sort of like a big uproar, that's set in place. It's like the actual official narrative is we're governed by consent, which basically means you've already agreed to say yes to the masters.
Right.
But you there are certain rules and stuff that you can opt out of. If you don't give your consent, you can take some of this shit back. But yeah, that's a whole another 10 years of learning. That sort of stuff is
Probably longer, but yeah, you're right. I mean, once you stop using something, it withers and dies.
Yeah, I ain't got a driver's license. I'm not gonna get another passport or anything like that's gonna. I don't own a car because I know it's not my car. I'm just a registered keeper. I know all these sort of things, and I don't sign things anymore. I don't contract into anything. I avoid them. I've got notices on my door, notices of we've withdrawn everyone's rights of what they call it, rights of access. Yeah, inalienable right. Well, yeah. So no one can enter my property without my consent. And if they breach that, there's penalties they'll have to pay. It's all written, and it's a note. They've been notified. It's noticed, and it's all done official. Just that people want to come knocking, they want to try and sort of like debt collectors, people like TV license. We don't have that in your country, but we have these people that come around and try and take money off you for watching the television. Yeah, like, and they're government backed sometimes. And if you give them the authority and the consent, if you open your door and you say, yes, I've got a TV, yes, I watch it, and yes, you can come in my house, and blah blah blah, they'll issue you with a fine. But if you open your door, you say, who are you? They say, we're the TV people. You say, well, fuck off. You shut your door. They can't do nothing. Yeah, because you haven't allowed them to. But when you just play the part that they want you to play, it's hard. It's a horrible world, but we are sucked into so much stuff that we don't actually have to be.
Yeah.
There's tools that you can use, like you're saying. They're not always very effective in the United States. I noticed. I studied that for quite a while, and the court system and statutes versus laws and all that stuff. Mainly if you don't identify yourself. Like many times I've been stopped walking down the road, like late at night, couldn't sleep, go for a walk. Cop comes over. What's your name? I go, citizen, and I recite my social security number. Citizen 54 da 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 da. He goes, what's your name? I go, I just told you. And I just keep walking. And they leave you alone because you're not going to give them the right to accost you, right? You're a citizen in the United States with a social security card under a legal blanket that's supposed to protect you. And they can't do anything against you unless you actually tell them your corporate name, which is in capital letters on your driver's license. If you just say citizen and you give them your social security number, that's an identification. They don't really have access to look up and they have to walk away. Right? Because
the way I look at it is what you said about the law and the acts and statutes and the difference between them. The acts and statutes are like a company handbook, rule book. Yeah, they're not laws. They're just what the government, the company, that's their rules. Yeah. And if you admit to being their employee, you have to follow their rules. It's that simple. Don't be their employee. You're not their employee. Yeah, you don't have to be.
And that loophole by giving your social security number gets rid of the cop, all right? Because you've given him what he needs. He just doesn't know what to do with it. All right. So if you do go to court, you just say, I gave him my corporate number. Look it up if you want to know what my name is, you idiot. You know what I mean? Look it up. All right, but it gets rid of them. Yeah, you don't have to say anything. The thing that happens in the United States when you refuse, they beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. Or they try and say you're being you've got something mentally wrong with you. Yeah, so they'll lock you up under some mental health act, or that's what they use here, or they've tried to use it on me a few times. Yes. And they don't get nowhere, they say you're being mental.
I had that happen when I was in court, actually, when I wanted to get rid of an attorney. He called me insane to the judge, and then he didn't want to represent me anymore. And I turned it around on him. I was pissed at him, but I turned it around. I didn't say I didn't want to work with you anymore. I go, I think that we need to discuss our differences and come to an agreement. And the judge looks at him and he goes, no, I don't want to work. The guy's insane. At the end of the trial, I got a new representative attorney. The judge told me, he goes, you're not insane. All right. Because the only way to get out of something like that, once you're in it, is just agree don't argue, don't, okay, yeah, no, yes, sir, no, sir. And you get out of it. And if you don't resist in this United States, they give you the lowest penalty. I mean, it came down, there was 3 of us that had to say something towards the end in front of the judge, right? And the first one, she was crying and this, I'm a good person. She went on for like a half hour. Judge is just like tapping her fingers. Next guy, same thing, only about half as long. I got up there and I said, I'm just here to pay whatever is due. Right? And she goes, they told me you were insane, but you're the most sane person. She said, right? And I got the lowest penalty because I didn't waste the court's time. So you can manipulate them just by knowing how they operate, but not using them is the best avenue because they just wither up and die.
Yeah.
That's good. What's up, Mark?
Cheers, guys.
Dog.
Great input.
Cheers, Mark.
What's going on, people? Come here to smoke some ganja.
Oh boy.
This is the place, right?
It is.
No, this is political corner. You're on the wrong day. Tomorrow's the weekday. You can still say
We're
I'm
reading
Right.
right
Smoke
now.
some ganja.
This is called Meet the Press at the Eagle Nest.
By the end of this session, we should have everything figured out.
I think so.
I think ChatGPT is going to change things now. This
Dude,
AI business.
Stevie, I actually got in there with it last night. And I started telling him, so how did you get trained? And he said, like, so and so. I go, how do you know those people know what they're talking about? And it went into this excuse. Well, I can only go with the amount of information I'm given. I go, what if it's false? It just started repeating the same thing.
Right. My dog's going nuts.
13-minute warning, boys. Cheers it out at the 20 there.
That chat CPT, that's bullshit, man. I don't see that going very far, really, to be honest. I mean, everybody seems to think it's going to go somewhere, but
What's that?
the AI stuff.
It's already feeding itself at alarming rate with every inquiry. It looks, you know what I mean? It's building itself because it's been forced to ask a question and learn something else.
I just hit it with
Cat's already out of the bag. Sorry.
my training. It kept saying my training comes from I'm like, well, how do you know it's good? What do you have to compare against it?
Right.
Just kind of backpedal, because there's no answer for that. There's no known input. Right? What if the guy that made you is corrupt? Doesn't that mean you're corrupt? I mean, that's going to spin them out. So,
Honestly, this is the way I see it. We're gonna blow ourselves off the fucking face of the earth. I honestly think we're gonna blow ourselves right back to the caveman days, and we're gonna start all over. And we're gonna come back, in a couple thousand years. We're all gonna be sitting here doing the same fucking thing over again, man.
if you look at history, that's pretty much the way it goes.
Little changes along the way, though. Those little changes, when you have those moments of fucking, holy shit, deja vu. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to make a left this time instead of a right. I'm not going to go fuck that way. I'm going to go this way. Maybe that's the little change that happens, but it has to keep going until it's like a puzzle almost, maybe. It's like it just keeps going and you keep trying to figure it out. So finally, we all lock in and we're harmonious in equal vibration with the planet. 432 hertz.
That's the goal, I think.
I mean, there's a lot of shit, dude, that conspiracy, but there is a lot of shit like musically, the 432 tuning. Now it's 440. They changed it, made that the standard. If you listen to the two tunings the way they play, 440 is ominous, man. It's got an evil sound to it versus 432. It actually, you can it's almost like a drop D tuning, you know, you drop down to a low D or something, and it's just fucking real heavy and, you know, it's just different tunings to evoke a different feeling, emotion out of it.
Yep.
So if they can keep music tuned at a fucking ominous thing, no matter what kind of music you're producing, there's still an undertone of evil.
Tesla said it's all about vibration.
It is. I believe he's right. I think everything is moving. Even the things that are still are actually moving. There's billions of fucking cells and whatnot that are constantly moving.
Everything's got frequency.
If your cells are vibrating at such a high frequency that you can't tell that they're vibrating, doesn't mean that they're not vibrating. It also means you're seeing a very limited part of the spectrum. We're not seeing the full spectrum. No. But in a third dimension, I imagine that's the way it's designed, right? Everybody's vibration eventually is going to rise as we go back to the original source. So there's no way around it. I mean, you can try to focus on negative polarity, but sooner or later, you can only go so far with that. You hit a ceiling, finally you have to change and go the other direction. So it's just a matter of time in this lower density. But what if the Earth's moving into a higher density, which is proven it is, it's moving into a fourth density, which is more of harmony and less of chaos. So those that don't vibrate at that density are probably going to be gone. You know, they're going to have to die off more than likely. Who knows?
Yeah.
Come back and reincarnate with a higher vibration, would you?
I really think though too, I think most of us were either living in the past or the future. None of us really are living in the moment, you know, maybe at certain periods of time in our lives, little bits here and there, you're actually in the moment. I think if you're in a sport or you're involved in an activity, you're obviously in the moment doing what you're doing. But then once you come out of that, you don't continue in the moment doing now you're thinking about, well, what am I going to do tonight? What am I going to, you know, and then what you're doing now is just
that is the fucking mind bender of a question, is basically what is the moment right now? You know what I mean? It is the moment. It's all in one. The future's now is now, and now is also the past, because it's all consecutively kind of happening all at once. So where is that division of now?
I think and I think it comes down.
As soon as you say it. I mean, seriously, as soon as you say it, now it's the past.
Right.
It's the past. Right. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's a weird conundrum.
On a 3D level, we have to have a timeline to keep things in place. We can, as instruments, as souls within these instruments, we can traverse to higher vibrations. We do it all the time. Like you're studying and 3 hours go by and you don't notice it. So you've slipped into a higher density, a higher dimension during that time. But these vehicles are designed to do that. We just don't understand that they are. We've been told that they're not, right? That we're less than what we truly are.
I agree with the AI. We're the artificial intelligence. You know, if what we've produced from ourselves, we've made some pretty sophisticated stuff. But if the people that made or the creator or the artificial intelligence got so smart, say our AI had another 1,000 years to learn and how to create, maybe it would create a life form for itself, and it would look like its masters, or it would look like us, and it would be able to reproduce, organically, and it would have the same basic operating system because it's artificial, it's a machine essentially. We're all machines. We all got the same operating system though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an electromagnetic device that our souls are inhabiting to experience a lower density. Why would you do that? I mean, why do you go to the gym? Right? You go there to get stronger. I mean, if you're living forever, what else you got to fucking do? You know, I mean, how else can you expand? I mean, the whole expansion of the universe is the experiences that we have each moment, whatever dimension we choose to be in. We just don't realize that we have a choice. That's why it's a meat suit instead of a vehicle. Once we understand we have a choice, who knows what would happen? I think that's where we go back in time and you see these metallithic structures and pyramids and things that obviously they had some kind of knowledge we didn't have.
Oh, dude, okay. I worked on skyscrapers in Chicago, okay? I'm just going to tell you, that shit that they did back then, no, they had some sort of, I'm going to say it was some sort of, again, a sound thing that they were able to use to levitate these blocks to get them to move. Now, what instrument or what they used to do that, I don't know, but
the proof is
we don't have any machines today. Even if we took every fucking crane in the world and put them all together to pick up, we still couldn't pick up one of them fucking blocks. It's the truth. And, you know, I mean, the shit we build is skeletons compared to their stuff. I mean, their stuff is, you know, there's a lot of stuff I could sit here and talk about. I've even looked back into just, you know, it's really a couple hundred years ago here in our country. Like, you look at some of these fucking cities like Chicago, and I look at the population. I looked at what they did when they had the World Fair, the World Exposition, the swath of land that they built on, and they built this amazing fucking city to only wreck it a year later, completely destroy it. But it's like they're saying, well, we put up these buildings, 30-story, 40-story building. Like, they built this entire city in 1 year, and the population was 70,000 people. Now, the 70,000 people, how many were kids, old people, women, because they weren't working on these buildings? Then I look at what it takes us today to do the same type of building, and dude, we're not putting up the innate architecture, the hand-carved woodwork and the stonework and shit. We don't do that today. I mean, we pour molds and make shit, and even that takes forever. And yet they were amazingly able to erect one of these buildings in fucking 1 year.
Takes 1 year to get through
red tape. 3 fucking years to do something of a lesser quality with way more fucking, you know, tools and all this knowledge and shit at our fingertips. And yet
slave labor.
Dude, there weren't enough people though, modern. That's what I'm saying. There weren't enough people here to even fucking do the job.
Yeah, back then, you know that now they build a building, they fucking hire 10 people. You know, back then they used to hire 200,000.
That's what I'm saying, but they didn't have the amount of people they needed to put up, because it wasn't one building a year, dude. We're talking 30, 40 buildings. I'm thinking 30, 40 buildings, couple hundred people a building. Dude, that's the entire, like, there was nobody else doing anything else. The kids were all working too. I mean, no.
That's
And
why
the work they did, where did they source the resources? Like, there were no gravel pits, there were no granite. You're like, dude, there was a lot of sketchy shit happening back then. I don't know, man. Sometimes I think maybe this shit was here and we just found it, and it was buried under the fucking trees, and we fucking dig it out like we are finding fucking shit today, these pyramids buried in the middle of the rainforest, and they're digging them out, and there's these fucking, I don't know, just like the heads over there at the island, right? All of a sudden, we didn't know there were bodies. We just thought there were just these tiki heads sitting in the fucking dirt. No, there's feet and legs and the whole body attached to those things. So I don't know, man. I feel like we've blown ourselves off the planet a few times and we've come back. You know, I mean, real reality is, it's like, when did history? Did it all that shit really happen before? I don't know. Time to go.
It's been good conversation tonight. I think we have blown ourselves off the planet at one point. I almost think that's kind of what has happened with the pyramids. I'm digging myself into a hole there. Fucking is that at one point they were like an energy source that maybe had gotten too hot and had a flash point and fucking maybe phased us right off. You know what I mean? Just a big flash took shit out. The thought of like them taking them big fucking stones off the pyramid, you know what I mean? Come on. That's a lot of work for like it. We don't figure out how the fuck they built them, and now they're trying to say that we climbed to the top, took fucking pry bars and rolled them down the side of the pyramid to fucking reclaim them. I think that fucker got hot and popped, and what stones were around the pyramid may have been reclaimed, but they didn't climb up and just like start taking stones from it. That fucker popped for me.
They were encased, weren't they encased in some sort of white granite at one time, they said?
Yeah.
So where's all that shit? Just fell off, like you said.
I said they took it to build buildings in there. It was easy access. They took it all.
Rolling down the sides like that, because you'd have to get to the top. Would you just start in the middle with the sledgehammer and just fucking make it fall? No, it's not.
I think it was a power transmitter, and I'll tell you what. Even if you go back and look at houses that were like from the 1800s, maybe a little later, they all have these fucking something on their rooftop. Every rooftop's got like it looks like an antenna, just a single pole, like a lightning rod. You know, I don't know. It's not a lightning rod though, because it doesn't go to. I've been on these old houses rehabbing. I'm an electrician. Go up there and see what that rod's attached to. Where's it go to? A ground rod or something? No, it's just attached to the house, and that's it. There's no grounding rods. There's no grounding system to it. So, what the fuck was that for? And what did it do? Just a design. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is it a flagpole? Maybe for a flag? I think it was the pyramids that fucking power to those houses.
If you listen to a guy by the name of Matt LaCroix, he's written a couple books, and there is a 12,000 year destruction cycle that can be documented on our planet. All right. And it's because of a binary dark sun that's millions of years older than our sun that comes through along with their planetary evolvement every 12,500 years approximately. Now, there's evidence for that. If we look at Earth and all the places that have been left behind and the distances, like the huge Metholithic sites are as old as we can find, then the next larger sites are 12,000 years after that, and another 12,000 years. But there's also some cycles where, like in the desert, they turned it to glass where there was extreme nuclear blast. So there's probably been some kind of war here as well. But our planet, just like we look at cannabis to have it teach us what it needs and what it's done in the past, all we got to do is make a concerted effort to analyze what's already here under the oceans and all the places that they don't want us to look into. Right?
Yeah. We're not allowed to.
Well, if everybody thought there's going to be every 12,000 years, there's going to be destruction on the earth, which we're rolling into that cycle, they're going to freak out. Right. And I think a lot of this stuff, at least Matt goes into a theory where there's so much activity in the South Pole that he thinks they're trying to weight the Earth down there so that it doesn't flip again when that sun comes through. That we're at a point where we might be able to survive the destruction cycle. But because all the other planets are listing much more, as the planet comes in, it's so magnetically attracted, it pulls every planet in a listing motion towards it. That's why our planet isn't exactly straight, but our planet isn't listing as much as all the other planets. That's a fact. And you have to ask yourself why. It should be. It's probably closer than some of the larger planets. It's less heavy as some of the larger planets, and they're listing, I think Neptune is almost on its side. So what's that all about? They found when they did the probes back in the 70s, they documented this dark star, but you can't find it. They scrubbed the information from the internet. You can find it in one encyclopedia that Matt has, and he shows you where they show us, they call it a Death Star. And it's a brown dwarf. And it has its own planetary system that's going around it. But you don't hear hardly anything about that theory. Right?
Yeah.
Unless you read the books on it. There's many books on it. So
Books are good. That being said, boys, it is that time. We ranted. A nice little rant there. This has been a fun episode. The last few have been fun, like old school kind of wormhole days.
thanks, man. It's good to be here, and it's good that you're here for us. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yes,
Yeah,
thanks for having me. Love it.
Chat.
Good modern again. When's the next meetup in Michigan, man? What's
9th
going on?
and 10th, 9th and 10th of June.
9th and 10th of June. All right. What's that? Mendo Dope?
A camping event.
Where at? Same place?
No. I can send you information.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Send me that, please.
Thanks, Eagle. See you guys later.
Hey,
Cheers,
Bingus.
Bingus.
Here, guys.
Bingus ought to fly in and have a weekend with us.
I wouldn't mind trying that. Cheers.
Make it happen, dude.
All right.
Bye now.
All right. Modern, Iceni, Eagle. Been a pleasure, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Donnie. I'll see you again soon.
Cheers, chat.
All right, Stoney.
Later, Stoney.
Cheers, Iceni.
Morning.
Cheers, buddy.
Have a good one, mate. I'll jump off now, mate.
Me and Iceni's had some late conversations,
Yeah.
haven't we, buddy?
Yeah, it's been a minute though.
Been a minute.
Thank you for
Yeah.
popping in, my friend.
Yeah, it's good. I thought I'd like to see a few familiar faces, and I hadn't actually had a chat with Bingus before, so it's nice.
Always bring some good conversation. I enjoy it when you pop in.
Yeah, everybody's popping in the chat too, and you're shutting it down and shit. You should let it pass over to somebody else. I don't know.
No, it's
I
not.
don't know.
Laters.
Just hopping. See ya, Sandy. I'm out too.
Later.
Peace, guys. Peace and love.
With that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a good one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I can't wait to get back to when I can fucking actually do the shout outs again. Well, there may be one later. You never know. That being said, this is the end of your day. Get some rest. This is the beginning of your day. Go back to bed. It's way too early. It's fucking Monday night. What the fuck? Anywho's, take time out for a little bit of self-love, a little bit of meditation along the lines of what I'm hoping is an amazing day for you. Take time out to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. With that being said, I am out of here.